shoulders, and the navy blue numbers and trim, white shorts, white socks. They are defending to the right and attacking to the left. They have the opening kick. W&L is in the blue uniforms with gray numbers and trim. They will be defending to the left and attacking to the right as we are underway. We'll get you starting lineups here in just a moment. On the women's side, quick note, it'll be Christopher Newport versus TCNJ for a national title. We're just getting started to figure out who will be playing for the championship tomorrow on the men's side. Of course, coming up in the second game, it'll be another NESCAC team, and Amherst taking on UAA opponent Chicago.
Before we get into the lineups, one player to watch immediately for the Generals, number 36 up top, Adrian Zimmerman, already with an NCAA Division III record, 10 goals in this national tournament, 10 goals in 4 games. So anything he does on top of this is going to be icing. But it's interesting because he has 16 goals on the year, only had 6 in their great run to get to the NCAA tournament, and it's at 10 when it really matters. Talk about saving your best for last.
Okay, you starting lineups here. We'll start with W&L, who's in the road uniforms. They are the number 1 ranked team in the country according to the coaches poll, but the quote-unquote home designation as part of being uniforms is actually decided by where you are positioned on the bracket. And Connecticut College being the upper bracket team versus W&L being the lower bracket team. It goes to Connecticut College's representing the home side. We'll do it in numerical order. Defensive senior, number 3, Jack Rollins. He's one of the captains on this program out of Springfield, Virginia, standing at 6'2". Another one of the captains, defensive junior, number 4, Tyler Smith from Alexandria, Virginia, also at 6'2". Number 6, midfielder junior, Samuel Bass from Charlotte, North Carolina, where he stands in at 5'9". At 6 foot, it's Hayden Beering, the defensive sophomore wearing number 7 out of Denton, Texas. This goes all the way back to the keeper. It is junior midfielder number 10, Michael Katsanzera from Zimbabwe, standing at 5'8". You also have senior defender number 17, Seth Chapman from Williamston, Michigan at 6'3". Senior midfielder number 21, Connor Wharton from Littleton, Colorado at 6 foot. You have freshman midfielder forward number 22 from Atlanta, Georgia at 6 foot. It is Wemi Agbaegbe.
You say that so well.
Thank you. And freshman defender number 32, P.J. Ryan from Morristown, New Jersey at 6'1". And Adrian Zimmerman, San Diego, California native at 6 foot, forward sophomore number 36. And in goal, it is Michael Nick from Killdeer, Illinois. He's wearing number 1.
Zimmerman will appreciate this Greensboro weather. He's
absolutely.
From San Diego, it's 71 degrees at 5 p.m. kickoff here in Greensboro.
Shabby. Not shabby at all out there for weather.
A lot better than the 36, 37 degrees it was 2 years ago when we had Amherst and Tufts and friends here in Greensboro for the semifinals. The last time, pre-pandemic, we were able to do this.
Camels of Connecticut College, 6th-ranked team, according to the coaches' poll. Of course, these polls done before the conference tournaments even started for most schools, so before the NCAA tournament as well. Give them a moment here as Connecticut College is threatening just a bit. Again, they're in the white uniforms with the light blue shoulders. And they're picked up in the back end by Nick. For the Camels, they start the defender, number 6, a sophomore from New Haven, Connecticut. It's Alessandro Horvath Diano at 6'2". At 5'9" in the midfield, a sophomore, number 8, Ryan Juran from Downingtown, Pennsylvania. The senior forward, number 9, also from Zimbabwe, M.T. Shuma. He stands at 5'9". We'll be talking quite a bit about him coming up. Number 13 forward, sophomore from Thornton, Pennsylvania at 5'11". It is Matt Schufone, a junior midfielder, number 14 from Mahapik, New York. I knew I was probably not going to get that one quite right. It's Augie Jirgai. He is, of course, the player of the year in the NESCAC. Midfielder number 16, a senior, Lorenzo Bocchetti from Wilmington, Delaware at 6 foot. You also have from Ellington, Connecticut, a 6-foot defender, a junior, number 21, Roman Durkovic. A freshman defender, number 24, from Westfield, New Jersey, standing at 6'2". It is Jack Kalatsoglu. And a junior defender, number 25, Steve Jonas, one of the other captains from McLean, Virginia, number 25 at 5'9". And Bruce Doyle, Hoboken, New Jersey native, 5'8", junior defender, number 30. And in goal, it is Sam Maidenberg, South Orange, New Jersey native, standing at 6 foot. He's got the double zeros. He is in a burnt orange uniform, sir? Is that the right color there for maiden form, would you say?
Burnt orange.
I said burnt orange.
That was very Crayola.
It looks a little darker than a general orange as we get a corner kick opportunity here for the Generals. In the meantime, by the way, their goalie in a pale yellow with black shorts look to compensate with the official.
It's more
who's
of
in
a lime green.
Lime? Okay, I'll take. Thank you. Ooh, right over the back post. Maiden form had a hand there. I was going to say, because compared to our official in the middle of the field who's in a yellow uniform, yeah, I don't see the green in it, so I'll give you the benefit.
It's limish.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You have your Sprite combination out here.
Nice.
On the field with your lemon and lime.
Very nice. That ball is out of bounds. He's Ira Thor. I'm Dave McHugh. Thanks for tuning into this one, wherever you're watching it, around the world possibly. We appreciate you taking the time. It is nice to be back for a championship weekend in Division III soccer, which, of course, did not happen last year due to the pandemic. We're happy to have this opportunity, to say the least, in what is the last year Greensboro will be playing host to this event.
Now we go into Salem and Roanoke Valley coming up, and that's for, I believe, 2 years, and then you and I will hit the road.
Random
and
trip to Vegas, sir.
Go to Vegas. Can't wait for that.
Play that at UNLV before then heading back to
we got to make sure
Roanoke.
we do good enough a job the next few years so we get invited
so we
back
get
to go to Vegas.
Yeah, there could be a production team right now reporting back saying, don't hire these guys.
Well, and then you and I, of course, do the D3 Hoops Classic in Vegas every December. So we
go anyway.
Might as well just spend the whole month out there in 2024.
See how that might go over.
You know, what's interesting is Connecticut College, this is the second time they've ever been in a Final Four.
Correct.
The only other sport they've ever been in a Final Four was 1999 in Salem, Virginia, by the way, in men's basketball. I remember that because I actually called that game. I was a senior at William Patterson that year, and William Patterson had the broadcast rights because Fox decided not to do the games. And Hampton-Sydney knocked Connecticut out, and then Connecticut beat William Patterson as the Camels finished third in the nation down there that year. I believe, if I remember correctly, that
by the way,
Conn
Jonas
College,
with the opportunity there.
What'd you say?
Jonas with the opportunity for Connecticut
that is
College
correct.
there.
But Conn College was #1 in the country.
Yeah, I'm actually
going into that
surprised
game.
with that history you were allowed to be here for this game. I thought Conn College would see that and go, it's a bad omen.
Well, I mean, that was a Bo Ryan team for Platteville that you knew was going to win the whole thing anyway that year.
That was the heyday of Platteville. Of course, that was also the beginning of Salem hosting. Really, Salem hosting everything and changing how Division III championships and really NCAA championships were done. And you still see the fingerprints of all of that here in Greensboro and everywhere else that D3 NCAA championships and even other divisions are held.
And it is ironic, by the way, that we talk about Salem and you have a team from the Old Dominion Athletic Conference in this game in WNL.
Yeah. Again, about 160 miles northwest of here by the drive. Whereas Connecticut College, bit of a longer trip. They actually had to retreat further into New England to get down here. They had, instead of going to Hartford, Connecticut, or down to New York, they had to fly out of Boston. And, well, for anybody from Connecticut, that's not ideal. They don't want to go to Boston if they can avoid it.
Logan is not the easiest airport in the world to navigate.
No, you got to go all the way to the water and then under it, just to get out of the area. And that ball ruled out of bounds, so it'll be a throw-in for the Generals.
Being from New Jersey, well aware of inconvenient airports. We got 3 of them.
It's right there. It's just going to take you half the day to get there. 36 minutes left to go here in the opening half of this Division III men's semifinals. This is game 3 of the day here at Greensboro, as we already played 2 women's semifinals. 2 great games, as we're going to get a bit of a tugging call here. This men's game going to probably be called a little tighter than the women's games were called, just naturally based on how these teams play in general. Coming in, Washington College whistled for a little over 11 fouls per game. Their opponents almost 13. And for Connecticut College, they average about 10, 11 penalties themselves, or fouls, I should say, and their opponents about the same at 12 and a half.
2 teams with a very different path to get here. Connecticut College was actually lucky to get out of the first round. Nearly were upset by Salem State, a team that you don't really think of as a soccer power, but the MASCAC champions took them to overtime and then to a shootout 3-2 on PKs.
Real quick, offsides called there, and that's the reason for the whistle. Came from an offsides position, was the first one to play it.
And then, you had your 3-0 win over NYU.
Right.
And then the
to counteract that
game with Redlands. And then to really put an exclamation mark on the story, they become the first team to score 5 goals against Tufts as this is whistled offsides.
Yeah, that's a third offsides or second offsides, but in a few moments, Connecticut College fans don't like it, but they're not exactly in a position to see it. I mean, they're in a worse position than we are to see that. I'm going to trust the assistant referee on the far side. By the way, leading up to that, real quick note, Schuma played it and then collided with a defender with his head and was kind of holding his head there for a moment. We're hoping he's okay.
Yeah.
Inadvertent.
Just to finish that last thought,
yeah.
That game, they had a big lead on Tufts. Tufts nearly, multiple-time defending national champions, nearly came back and forced overtime there. 5-4 final, but you and I were both curious last night. Well, when was the last time that somebody scored 5 goals on Tufts? And it was actually Bates back in October of 2004.
That was 2006. No, you might be.
I think it was I'm almost certain.
Yeah,
it was
well, it's so long ago that I've lost track. No, you're absolutely right. It's been one and forever.
5-2, October 2nd, 2004. So
it was 4. Okay.
That just another little exclamation mark on this really magical run that the Campbells have had. But they're not resting on their laurels at all. This is a team that very easily could be hoisting the trophy tomorrow. But they got to get by a WNL team that has its own magical run going on. And the question is, at what point in this game do they get Adrian Zimmerman going?
What's interesting, too, is, you look at the women's semifinals. Amongst the 4 teams, there was 1 loss. Wesleyan, which now has 2, of course, having lost in the semifinals, had lost to Amherst early in the season. Otherwise, everybody else was not perfect. They had some ties, but nobody had lost a game, whereas you got Connecticut College here with 4 losses already on this season. WNL's got a loss as well. And,
Well, what that tells me is there's actually this year in men's soccer more balance than there was.
A little more competitiveness, yeah.
Exactly, than in women's soccer, where you may have had 5, 6, 7 teams as dominant and everybody else was a step below, where probably the top 20 to 30 teams could beat anybody on any given day, and maybe even outside the top 25. You saw how Salem forced a tie with Conn College.
Absolutely. WNL's lone loss actually came in the conference semifinals to Randolph in overtime, 3-2. Certainly a surprise in the Old Dominion Athletic Conference there, but of course they made it as an AQ, or as an at-large, I apologize. No surprise there, have won 4 straight since. Before that, they'd actually, I believe, set a record as a tenuous moment in the back line there. Longest unbeaten streak. They're at 17 games to start this season. The former record was 11. So they set the record for unbeaten streak in WNL program history, and they're on the doorstep of maybe setting some other records. This WNL team has been steadily building towards this moment.
Yeah, and to touch on what you just said, they've never been to the Final Four, as we know. Neither had Conn College, but for the Generals, they had never been past the Sweet 16 until this year.
Played over the top, but the Generals defense in position to clean that up.
What is notable, though, and we talked about building towards this moment, taking last year out, of course, this is the 6th consecutive appearance in the NCAA tournament for the Generals. So, behind their head coach, and we have a nice coaching storyline we should touch on in this game, but behind Mike Singleton, who's in their 8th season as head coach.
It's going to be a dangerous play here real quick. As a big collision takes place at the top of the box, it's going to give WNL a chance here from about 25 yards out on a direct kick after a big collision.
Yeah, we see right here Zimmerman tries to turn a little bit of a softer foul as we see it the second
that
time
angle
around.
That angle doesn't give it justice, I don't think. That was a huge collision, as flying in on that was Kelizoglu. And that was it, because even I winced from up here when I saw it live. 4-man wall is going to be posted at just inside the 18. And they're going to go with the 4th option. It's going to be a pass, and Conn College,
read.
Yeah, beautifully read. Wall splits out, reads the pass.
Let's see how they counter now.
And they will go into the counter onto the foot of Schufone, but then depossessed. And here come the Generals the other direction. Bass trying to turn the middle of the field. And they're going to call the slide tackle there and give another free kick, much to the chagrin Bocchetti.
Bocchetti did not agree with that at
got
all.
A huge cast on his right arm. But, of course, you're not supposed to use your hands in the game of soccer, so that's no big deal. So, yeah, he didn't like that. Official in the middle of the field certainly not agreeing with it either. And so we'll get a free kick here. This is more of those, it's Maidenthorn's all the way up to the 6. So he doesn't think this is going over him. He's playing it as a lob to the far side that he wants to cut off. He's across the 6. It's going almost over his head.
Almost overplayed it, but he certainly
had
had the right scouting report on the play.
Absolutely. Almost overplayed it, but able to get that right on the 6-yard line, and now we'll play it out to his defense.
Now we talked about the job that Mike Singleton's done in his 8th season. We almost have a mentor-mentee type matchup here. He's friends with Ruben Burke, his 3rd season as the head coach of the Camels. And
backhill from Zimmerman.
What's notable is that Singleton, who's been very involved with developmental and youth soccer coming up and is from the New England area, actually coached and discovered Ruben Burke when he was a player up and coming in Massachusetts in their ODP program. And they've remained in touch ever since. They reconnected, and this is truly that coach and pupil type relationship that they have. So the fact that they're both meeting here on this stage,
yeah, certainly interesting.
When I had no idea about it until, credit to all these coaches who gave us a lot of time to talk about their programs leading up to the tournament. And, Mike threw out that little nugget, and
oh, by the way,
the broadcasters and us were like, wait, you what?
I mean, I could talk a whole half about that. Thank you for giving us content. Ball out of bounds. And we'll be Conn Colleges, the Camels. Of course, brings up the point we'll have the Mammoths of Amherst coming up later. You get the more unique
you got
mascots.
The Jumbos. Don't forget the Jumbos.
Yeah, always getting there. One of the most unique mascots in the NESCAC. The Jumbos, the Polar Bears isn't maybe unique, but it just goes with the flow. The Mammoths, the Eefs. Of course, Trinity has got a chicken, but they're called the Bantams. If there's one thing NESCAC is known for, it's either unique mascots. Of course, Amherst went from something they don't want us to talk about to the Mammoths.
The LJs.
The LJs, we'll call them that, yeah. Just if you know the first name of Amherst, then you know the name of the mascot. It was also part of the uniqueness is we'll get a corner kick opportunity here for Connecticut College. Yeah, it's quirky, and that's fun. And by the way, at one point, when in the running, we'll talk about it later, for Mammoths, somebody had rearranged the letters of Amherst and gotten the word hamster, and that was in the running to be a mascot name before it was actually removed by the committee, so it couldn't be voted on. So we almost had the Amherst
not know that story
hamsters.
Until now.
Yep. No long corner is going to go well over everybody's head. Trying to chase it down now is Gear Guy. Oh, nice little move there. Throws it in front, but the defense for the General is there to shut it down. I mean, now they will try and counter.
For Gear Guy to be the league's player of the year in a league that includes Amherst Herman Giamatti, who might be the best player in the country.
2 years in a row. Oh, opportunity here for Connecticut College on a play on, but it's again booted out by the General's defense.
I mean, Giamatti's playing pro. We know he's going to be playing pro.
No, that says a lot, right?
It's over. Whether it's in this country or it's international.
And Herman didn't, we'll talk about it certainly the next game, didn't have exactly the most prolific season he's normally had.
But he couldn't have the most prolific season because he was banged up all the time because he's constantly the focus of other teams' defenses.
And he's still, though, a heck of a talent. So for Gear Guy to get Player of the Year in the NESCAC, that says a lot about the season that he had, of course. Also, second-team All-American, first-team All-Region. NESCAC Player of the Year, as we mentioned, 2-time first-teamer, 5 goals, 3 assists, 13 points. You might think 5 goals, that's not saying much. There are 5 guys with 5 goals on this Connecticut College team to lead. Oh, nice little move here, thrown in front. Good dribbling exercise there from Agbaegbe, and nearly got an opportunity for all that effort. As both teams have been pushing the defenses a little bit here, not surprising, a little X's and O's game from both.
And just showing the respect. And even, with the year where Herman maybe had statistically not as good of a year for Amherst as he did 2 years ago, still voted a first-team All-American.
Right. Well, that's the interesting thing.
Even though he wasn't Player of the Year in his own conference.
Right, Player of the Year is the second-team All-American. Just interesting how different panels see different things. As opportunity here for Connecticut College. Schuma to the far side, nobody home. He overshot the intended target, I think, in Shuffone.
Speaking of All-Americans, by the way,
Scuffone, I apologize.
Want to give a nod to WNL because they had 3 players named to the All-American team. Rollins, who's a 4-time first-team All-ODAC selection, was named a first-team All-American. And then they got 2 on the second team with Sam Bass and Michael Katzenzira.
Yeah, good turnout for the Generals on that team on a tremendous season. They've been number 1 since late in September.
Sort of like TCNJ on the women's side, who's pretty much run the table as number 1 team, and we'll be playing in the final tomorrow.
Ball out of bounds, good Connecticut College. The Camels. The throw-in. Nice camera angle there.
And touching on the nicknames, this is one of the great things about Division III. Obviously,
Schuma going to the backside just too far for Jonas.
Obviously the student-athlete experience, and we talk about that so much, which is a paramount part of Division III, but there's that fun aspect, right? The nicknames you talked about in NESCAC. I remember, I worked full-time at NJCU in Jersey City. We're the Gothic Knights, and we met Amherst in the Sweet 16 back in 2004. And remember, there was a reporter who came out, didn't even really talk about the game. His story was just about the uniqueness, and still online somewhere where if anybody would like to read it, the uniqueness of nicknames in Division III. Of course, probably the most famous one, your favorite.
Well, which? I have a couple.
Your favorite, the West Coast.
Of
Santa
course,
Cruz.
the Banana Slugs of
Banana
UC Santa
Slugs.
Cruz. Yes, absolutely. Any way we can get that into a broadcast is a must.
You're wearing your Banana Slug T-shirt right now.
I am. If they were here at the game, you could rule I was being unbiased. I mean biased. Which is it? Yeah. WNL and Connecticut College here in semifinal number 1 of the Division III Men's Championship weekend. We are halfway through the first half. 0-0. It's a common theme here today, as both teams are still trying to find the flaws and tendencies of the other.
I mean, you're not expecting another 5-4 game?
No, not by a landslide. And even that 5-4 game was, as we mentioned, a huge surprise by everybody. That one's played pretty far back, and Maidenform picks it up. Should point out, Maidenberg, I apologize. Maidenberg, international relations major with a minor in English, actually took over the goalie responsibilities after 2-time first-team All-American A.J. Marcucci was drafted in the MLS. I mean, that's a heck of a pair of shoes to follow.
Looks like there's a little pedigree at the keeper position.
Just a wee bit. And Maidenberg has absolutely played tremendously well. He's played in 20 games with 19 starts. He's allowed 15 goals, but that's a 0.76 goal against average. 70 saves for an .824 save percentage. Not an all-NESCAC or all-region player, but he has been certainly the biggest reason Connecticut College is here in this event. We should point out Connecticut College, by the way, coming in, averaging 1.77 goals against, or goals for, I should say. A goals against is 0.77. Take about 16 shots per game while allowing 8. They put about 7 of those 16 shots on goal. They allow 4 of the 8 to go on net, or on cage, I should say. They've had 13 shutouts this season. They have been shut out 3 times. This one in front, getting opportunity, but the Generals are going to let that go out for the goal kick.
I mean, both teams, have given up the same amount of goals on the year at 17, but, the goal differential, 69 for WNL, and, for the Camels, they only have 39 goals, but a big part of that is because of who's in their conference. Yeah. There's no off days.
Right. WNL comes in averaging 3.29 goals against, goals for, but right, there's admittedly some in the ODAC where they can get some extra.
With almost every conference in the country,
I mean,
you
Guilford
can say
was an
that
8-2
about.
game. And then, that helps. They only allow 0.81, by the way. They take 22 shots per game and 10 of them on goal.
Yep.
Compared to allowing 7.5 or more shots and only 3 of them on goal. That's a staggering number. We're going to see that a lot from these 4 men's teams here this weekend. They've only been shut out. Oh, they haven't been shut out ever, but they've only got 8 shutouts. The one thing I would say about W&L is they're liable to give up goals. A single goal maybe. They don't tend to have a lot of nil games where they're in control.
But they're also, and they have proven this with Zimmerman throughout this tournament, that they can strike at any given moment.
That's the truth. Right now, Connecticut College is putting the pressure on the W&L defense. Flat 4 for them, whereas Connecticut College has got 2 back, bracketing Zimmerman. Well, looks like they've got 2 other defenders kind of pushing up into the offensive attack right now. As the cross there attempted by Gear Guy is out of bounds for the corner. And so we will get another corner kick opportunity here. Schuma's right on the line. He's actually behind Nick. And now he's in front of Nick as he comes off the line.
So it'll be Duran, who's got 7 assists on the season.
Yep.
And
Give me an in-swinger here.
see if he's able to set up this first goal.
This one's a line drive. Try to hit Schuma, who came off the line to the near post. It deflects out and have to give chase. W&L is trying to counter, but Schuma. Oh, and there's a big injury behind the play. I'm not sure what happened, but going down in a heap was Ryan. And to be honest, I saw no one around him when he fell, which is just odd. There seems like he might be talking to the assistant official on the far side to find out why Ryan went down, who gets up with no issues.
And I was about to, before the injury, compliment the speed there of number 9, MT Schuma, who he's missed 7 games this year.
Well, there's some inadvertent contact back there.
He's missed 7 games due to an injury, but he looks to be at full health right now.
So you saw him go down there. I actually saw him go down a second time later by himself. So interesting play there. We definitely get a little bit more histrionics in the men's game than we do in the women's game. So get some subs here. For Connecticut College, John Vito comes in from Morristown, New Jersey. And also Dylan Zane from Montego Bay, Jamaica. Vito wearing number 2, Zane wearing number 7. I missed who came in.
Corvette Dion and Scaffone both came off for the Camels.
Yeah, didn't see who came in for him, but we'll double check that in a moment. I see one of them. It's Brendan Clare, the Wellesley, Massachusetts midfielder wearing number 23. He's into the game. And we'll double check who the other might be. I think it might be the other captain, Aiden Scales, the Granton, Massachusetts native, into the game.
It was Peterson and Grant McCarty who have come in for Katzenzera and Bass.
Gotcha. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. I got to help you out somehow.
17:40 left to go here in the first half. Still 0-0.
Not only is it 0-0, there's been just one shot thus far in the first 24, 25 minutes. Doing a master 27 minutes. That's if I looked at the scoreboard before I tried to guess.
Goalies have played a few possessions, but haven't had a lot to
They really
have
haven't
to deal
had
with.
to because
No.
the back lines and quite frankly the midfield, this has been more than anything a battle in the midfield so far, and not really surprised by that, as there's so many good athletes on both teams in those areas, and the forwards haven't really had a chance to get involved yet.
Conversation here about Doyle for the Camels and Agbaegbe for W&L, and that's a shove into a collision. So it's interesting, the Connecticut fans don't like it, but it's not what happened to Doyle, it's what the defender did that Doyle ended up being on the receiving end of. His own teammate took the abuse of his own foul. 16.5 minutes left to go here. More subs ready to come in. Of course, a reminder, first half of NCAA games in soccer, you can only be on the field once. Second half, you can be on the field twice. So anybody leaving the game will not return until the second half. And again, it's a battle of the midfield. Neither team's really controlling things. That's a great ball down the wing. And a better way of holding on to it. Toe poke to try and go in front to get to Schuma was unsuccessful. It's Crayus. I mean, it's a great play to Crayus, and he takes the hit there. And he tries to toe poke that with his right.
As Duran goes over to take the corner kick, that whole play was set up by him as he slipped that ball through. Beautiful ball by number 8, Rye Duran, and we'll see if he gets a better crack at this corner kick on his second opportunity.
A couple of subs coming in. Schumann's actually going to take a seat and get an extra long halftime here. I believe I saw
Dukovic also came out.
Brendan Clark now checking the game. Opportunity, and coming out of the goal off of the deflection was Nick to take that. And now he just tries to distribute out, and he does. That's all the way up at midfield on the throw. Great distribution. I can't say it. And then they tried to cross it, but the Connecticut College defense shuts it down.
Yeah, they had Peterson open on the right wing. If they were to get that ball through, he was unmarked.
And quickly, it's already back downfield into Nick's hands.
And Nick was thinking about dropping
he was,
it to his
wasn't
defender. Then all of a sudden, out of his peripheral vision, who's he see? It's Duran again.
So the Camels right now trying to maintain possession in the middle of the field, and that's just a boot to the far side by Duran. Out of bounds will be Generals throwing, and they do so quickly, trying to find Smith. And he'll go out of bounds again for W&L. W&L came in. They're 8-0-1 in conference play. Again, lost in the semifinals to Randolph in the ODAC. Connecticut College lost to Tufts in the championship game in the NESCAC, which is why the win over Tufts 5-4 in the last round is so significant. They lost 2-0 in the championship game after defeating Williams and Colby along the way.
And the fans who have traveled well have certainly made their opinions felt.
Yes. Officiating crew paying them no mind. Actually seeing a women's soccer committee member as ball boy on the sideline right now. That's unique. Of course, soccer,
other
one of those
duties as assigned.
Right? But soccer, of course, one of those unique sports, especially at the Division III level, where both men's and women's soccer are very much synonymous.
You see referee Kyle Johnston, who's done a good job of maintaining some control of this game.
He's maintaining order so far.
These teams have been rather well behaved compared to what we typically see here. That's a emotionally charged weekend, Dave.
We have seen some really aggressive play in some of these games in the semis, and
I have a feeling
not ruling it out yet.
I have a feeling our next game
might come
be a little chippy.
A little chippier. Yeah, Amherst and Chicago both with a lot of pressure to get to the championship game. Of course, Amherst was there in 2019 when Tufts won. Then their second championship in a row in third in 5 years.
And they're the only team in this weekend's field that's ever won a title back in 2015.
Absolutely. Just one. Everybody else here has not. Of course, Chicago got robbed a couple of years ago. Oh, opportunity here for the Generals. Great defensive play.
Speaking of robbing, as he took the ball right off of Campbell's foot.
Wow, slide tackle at the top of the box and just ball was gone. It was there one moment and gone the next.
That ball is out of play on just a beautiful night here. I mean, the fans used to this time of year seeing everybody wrapped up in blankets, and they have their scarves just because, soccer fans
Wait a
wear
couple
scarves.
days, we might be there, but right now we've got a perfect weekend. Look at that.
Look at that
gorgeous sunset here in Greensboro, North Carolina. I was coming down the Shenandoah and Blue Ridges last night on I-81. Also a gorgeous sunset.
Great job by our crew to capture that sunset.
They're on
see
point
over
today.
The UNC Greensboro
By
Gymnasium.
The way, the men are enjoying this. Women played in sunshine, where I'm convinced the second game was impacted by it. That one's going to deflect and go out of bounds for a corner kick. So an interesting unsettled situation here is going to give W&L a corner and some chippiness in the box.
Yeah, just unlucky there, by the way.
Things are getting a little interesting.
That caught Cerrizo's shoulder going out of bounds.
This will be an in-swinger, supposedly, with 11:20 left to go here in the first half of a 0-0 game. Generals looking for this opportunity, stack everybody kind of mid-box, far side from the placement, but this is a line drive towards the near post. An initial flick on is headed out twice by Conn College. It's going to get booted back in, though, by Chapman. And then, again, Maidenberg up to the tasks, had that one read well.
It was in Lovu, for some we've had a chance to see his name since he came into the game, taking a kick for the Generals. One of these great stories for W&L with players that have come, from outside of the U.S. and He's from Zambia, and one of these players with a good life story.
Both these teams with those opportunities.
You know, MT's Shuma for Connecticut College. You know, had a great year with 5 goals, but another one, he come from Zimbabwe, and
you have a couple. We have Zimbabwe for WNL and for Connecticut College, but as you were saying, I mean, great opportunities for these guys.
Yeah, have come over to the United States to better their lives and find themselves now playing potentially for a national championship this weekend. The education, I mean, both schools, very fine academic institutions, and these are some of your better student athletes you're going to find anywhere.
Under 10 minutes to play here in the first half, 0-0.
Still can't wait to see who gets the Elite 90 award for the men's side. We saw the women's winner earlier.
I didn't see that poster. I'm going to have to double check it.
I might be using a calculator to figure it out.
You might still be, yes, agreed. Far side with it. Nice way to work through the defense there by, is that Drago? He's going to retreat using the midfield for help. And they will use the back line to try and spring the attack again, coming to the near side. It is P.J. Ryan. Flick on, opportunity into the box, and a good shutout defense there to keep Peterson from getting a good look at it. Now Conn College building. Under 9 to play in the half. Shuma is out, so this is kind of using reserves, and it just played it behind in a big collision in the midfield as everybody's going to go flying. As they were trying to get that to Grayus, but played it behind him, and so he couldn't retreat fast enough, and WNL brings in 3 more subs. They're going deep in the bench as George Biddle, Del Mar, California native, comes in. Also coming in is Charlie Colby from Prairie Village, Kansas, wearing number 24.
So it'll be
there's another sub I missed.
Be their 6th sub they've brought into this game. And again, you got 24 on the official roster. Might as well use as many as you can in the first half and give some guys a few minutes to breathe. By the way, credit on that last play to the Generals, to P.J. Ryan, for not only shielding away the attacker.
And the flag's up. Offsides. Fans don't like
but
it.
Avoiding the foul in the box in the meantime.
Absolutely.
Because he was trying to goad him into a foul. By the way, that was a good offside call.
Yes.
Probably about 6 yards
yes.
in front of the last defender.
There we go. Tyler Bernard from the Generals of Washington Lee is our 90
how
winner.
Appropriate is that as we have the WNL game going on.
Highest cumulative GPA, 3.92 in environmental studies and philosophy, because he's a double major, just to rub it in a little bit more.
And by the way, he is from, I'd like to point this out, from New Jersey. You know, we are smarter in the Garden State.
Oh, sure. Under 7 to play. WNL.
Tyler's out of Short Hills, New Jersey, by the way. Give a shout out to Short Hills.
This is going to be a dangerous throw in top of the 6. That flicked on in the wrong direction. Opportunity shot blocked out front. That was a great look off of a dangerous accidental flick on by the defense. Check it out again. Tracks it down, back heel, great look, and a blast gets blocked out front. That was a blast from Peterson. Missed who blocked it.
It was Bichetti with the broken arm. Bichetti, I should say.
Bichetti.
I mean, hey,
he's been in on a few plays already.
He's already got a broken arm. He might be immune to pain at this point.
Fair. More subs for the Camels, as they will bring in Jorge Mendo from Spain, the freshman. They will also bring in number 18, Jack Marvel from Marion, Massachusetts. He's the one who converted the deciding penalty kick against Salem State that you were talking about earlier in that first round. He's the one who kept their dreams of their season alive and avoided the major upset.
talk about major upset. That probably would have gone down as one of the bigger upsets in the history of the tournament.
Probably. Salem State, of course, got in as an automatic qualifier, but Connecticut College certainly, on paper, the better team.
You got Conn College, which was 6th in the country in the
Exactly.
last coaches poll against
Right.
a MASCAC champion that's obviously good enough to be there, but not
Right.
known as a soccer power.
Sure. I just love another great mascot. Vikings. That one played back as we're on about 5 minutes left to go here in the first half. And
I
this
like
one's
the
gonna go
idea
off
there.
the end. Yeah, I was with you. Yeah,
I
right?
mean, Mendo was stuck in a spot, though, where he's not going to get to that ball. You have two general defenders both converging there. There's just no path to freedom.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea initially, too. So we'll get a goal kick here. By the way, we're not seeing it this weekend. I haven't seen a ton of it, but I love the new goal kick rules that allow you to play it to a teammate inside the box, to allow a build-out. So it doesn't just have to be a boot and go all the time.
Because that almost becomes dump and run
Well,
soccer, which I don't think any of us like.
Well, it takes away the advantage of having the goal kick, as you get a foul in the middle of the field. But it takes away the advantage of what the goal kick is supposed to be as a reward to the defense and a hold on to the ball. Well, they're just booting it, and it doesn't become much of an advantage. So I do like it. As WNL still trying to find a way through the middle of the Conn College defense, and so far hasn't. It's interesting. It seems like WNL is willing to go down the middle, Ira, to try and thread the needle, whereas Connecticut College seems to be more interested in going down the wings against this WNL defense.
Well, with Zimmerman out right now getting a breather, it's Biddle who they have pressed higher.
Yep.
He's only got a couple goals on the year, but these are important minutes for WNL. Because remember, you got 15 minutes at the half, plus the 7, 8, 9 minutes that they've had majority of the starters out.
Opportunity here. Poke through. Maidenberg out. Swallows that one up. Well-timed run by the goalie to slide out and take that one off the foot and keep this a 0-0 game on what was nearly a great little through ball there.
Yeah, certainly a heads-up play, too, because had he not gotten there, Victor Inlovu was in the neighborhood.
Yeah, he was half a step. Nice slide tackle there. Yeah, he was half a step from breaking through on that one.
We know whatever happens, we're going to have a team that's never played for a national championship doing so tomorrow. And we've had a lot of those storylines already here this weekend with Loris and Wesleyan both hoping to have had that opportunity on the women's side. Neither could, both 1-0 games. Neither could find their way to the promised land. But this has been the last couple years. We saw, remember 2 years ago, the last time we had a championship, Carnegie Mellon on the women's side was just a couple inches in overtime away from knocking off Messiah, who went on to win national champion. But we've seen these teams that have seemingly been building for years to get to this moment. Some of them are taking advantage of it. Some of them, this is their swan song.
Yeah. Foul call. Fans didn't like it. That one might have been the first close call of this half. Nice little give and go here, but too far. A good idea for Connecticut College, and you're now trying to go down the middle a little bit more with 2 minutes left to go here in the first half.
Yeah, it's a good give and go idea. They had Steve Jonas there, who
just a little too far.
I think that kind of a play works against a team that doesn't have the level of experience defensively that Generals do. Maybe it works in an earlier round game in the tournament.
Not late.
Here, no, these teams are too well scouted out.
Yeah, they've had 2 weeks to look at each other. I think they had to have tapes to everybody by Monday prior to Thanksgiving. I think that's the timing. If everybody played on a Saturday, if they played on a Sunday, it's then Tuesday. I think they get 48 hours.
I mean, plus with streaming video, you can pretty much find any game you want online anyway.
Well, exactly. Oh, nice block out front. This is an opportunity for the Generals, but a closeout defense again. It's that help defense coming over the top that helps out their own teammates, or I guess not over the top, but comes in behind their own team, and you'll see it again. That great sliding tackle destroys the plan, but then sliding over to help out. I believe that was
it's all Pioshun.
Yeah, Pioshun with a great play coming over from his side defensively as we're under a minute to play here. to keep that from being a bigger threat. It'll be a throw in here for the Generals. We're going to try and be quick with 42 seconds on the clock.
And Bijan's only played in 7 games the entire year, so talk about probably the biggest contribution he's made all year. What
might have been.
Probably shut down a near certain path to the goal.
Yeah, on a tremendous play. I mean, both teams are playing so well right now, especially in unsettled situations. 20 seconds left to go in the first half. And quick strike, especially from the Generals, capable of doing that. That one is going to stay in bounds. It didn't go all the way over the line. Remember, it's got to go all the way over. It certainly did not. 6 seconds left. Long shot, but that went off the side of the foot. And it's actually going to be a throw-in. It had that much English on the ball. And that will draw things to a close. And, interesting first half. I'm not surprised. First game needed 2.5 minutes of overtime to be decided. Second game was decided in regulation, 1-0 in both affairs.
Well, W&L scored 14 goals through the first 4 games of the tournament, so they certainly have not been in a situation like this throughout this championship run. And, 9 goals in the last game for Conn College.
Yeah, I was going to say, they've got 9 just in the last 3. Of course, the first game was 0-0 into penalty kicks. So certainly they're a little bit more familiar with it. Neither team's offenses are necessarily quiet. Again, Connecticut College averaging 1 3/4 goals per game. W&L averaging 3 1/4 goals per contest.
No, it's also, by the way, we didn't mention before, first time that W&L has ever faced Conn College. In fact, W&L has not faced any of the teams here this weekend.
Right.
So. And
Connecticut College has not faced anybody but their NESCAC mate in Amherst. As Maidenberg comes all the way out of the 18.
And he had to, because there was a miscommunication on the right flank there. Nearly had a breakaway opportunity.
But it almost came back on him quicker than he anticipated. He had to scamper back, and it goes out of bounds, though. It'll be the Generals' throw-in.
Had that ball gotten through Wami Agbayegbe, he would have had a golden opportunity.
So Connecticut College trying to go to work here. The battle in the midfield has been the key. W&L seems to be a little bit more advantageous in that position so far. W&L, again, coached by Mike Singleton in his 8th season. Graduated from Penn in 1995. He's been the ODAC Coach of the Year 4 times, including, not surprisingly, this season. Conn College, coached by Reuben Burke. The Hobart graduate of 2013 in his 3rd season. He got to the NCAA tournament twice while at Hobart in his 4 years there. He and his coaching staff, an all-region coaching staff of the year selection by their coaching brethren. As Schuma's back out there, and he's going to get called for the foul. That's called timing. Schuma getting a little aggressive there. Again, out of Zimbabwe. Involved in a lot of service projects at Connecticut College. Here's the list. Includes New London's Walk to End Homelessness, Relay for Life, coaches at soccer camps for kids hosted by Connecticut College, a member of the Bugatti Investment Club, also helped with campus safety, the Office of Sustainability, Academic Resource Center, and the Athletic Center on campus as well.
Talking about making the most of your college experience and playing a sport at the highest level.
And the Division III mantra of being involved in your community on top of that. If you had an award like the Jostens Trophy or the Gallardi Trophy in men's and women's basketball and then football respectively here in soccer, he certainly probably would be part of that, as we have a lot of contact with the players out there right now. A lot of no calls from our officiating crew. Though it's been a relatively clean game overall. By the way, we should point out next-gen stats, always a thing that we like. Possession in favor of Connecticut College, 53-47 in that game in the first half. Of Connecticut College's possession time, they've spent a pretty even amount in all 4 kind of sections of the field. Obviously the least amount in the attacking end, but it's still at 21%. Whereas Washington and Lee have spent vast majority of their time in the middle of the field. It's the back third or the back quarter and the front quarter that have spent the least amount of time in. And if you're watching the game, that does line up with how W&L's been playing this game so far. 3 shots each so far in this one. No saves by any goalie because none of the shots have been on goal.
I think Both keepers would be fine with that.
Yeah. Well, and again, we talked about this in the women's games. Schumann's going to get a shot opportunity off the crossbar. He had Nick beat. With a little bit of English, that thing was going to just barely get in. Another opportunity. They're going to throw the flag for an offsides. That is offsides number 5 on Connecticut College.
And we watch the play
shot.
develop here. Ball comes out, quick right-footed, and you see it kind of unwinding like a corkscrew.
Yes.
That you're right. I feel that had he not elevated there, I don't even know if he would have got a hand on it.
No, I don't think he had it. That thing was dipping at just the right time to catch the crossbar. That was a brilliant shot from Schuma, and again comes from offsides. That's the 7th time Connecticut College has been called for offsides in this game.
I mean, Nick comes into the game with tremendous save percentage.
Oh, absolutely.
On the year, 81% on the season, but those are the balls that will drive a keeper nuts, right? You're pinched up,
see that kind
and it
of
comes out of
spin.
nowhere, and it's moving on you.
He kind of put a sidewind spin on it the way he was able to kick it. Yeah, it just shows you how good Schuma is.
Nick also didn't get a good clear there. It's taken right back away by Girai.
WNL's defense is having a little trouble coming out of the break here. Schuma, by the way, went to the Taft School in Connecticut. Really good institution, especially in athletics. I did go back and look because my high school alma mater is another one of those prep schools in Connecticut, very similar to Taft. During his tenure at Taft, my alma mater got waxed in all 4 games. It wasn't even close. My alma mater is not a bad soccer program, but Taft's clearly with Schuma there is an outstanding soccer program. A lot of good soccer played up in New England, especially at the boarding prep schools, and both boys and girls levels up there as that ball goes out of bounds. So it'll be a WNL throw-in. Of course, you see plenty of good soccer at the club level in New Jersey and down into the Mid-Atlantic region.
I mean,
we were talking about Peterson earlier. He plays. He went to Loyola Blakefield in Towson, Maryland, where he lives. This is for WNL, but he played for the Baltimore Celtics, which is a team that is owned by a friend of mine. Happens to be, and that club mentality spread down into the Mid-Atlantic.
Well, what's interesting, by the way, and you and I have had conversations about this off the air a number of times, is particularly in the Mid-Atlantic, you see a lot of the best high school soccer players not playing high school soccer high school soccer.
Well, and
they're playing for their club academies, and that's really kind of the limit to their soccer from age 14 to 18.
Not a bad soccer program. Nice spin move and a shot. As that will be a goal kick. It looked like that was. I think that was. Scuffone, who has 2 goals on the season. Nice little spin move there. Frees himself up. It's just a little close to him when he unloads. So it's going to go a little high there because he doesn't have a lot of room. If that's half a foot to his right, he's got a little bit more options, I think, to do something with that shot. 37 minutes left to go here in a scoreless game between 2 teams that have never been here, the Connecticut College Camels and the Washington Lee Generals. If you're tuned in, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. I think one of us is keeping track of Twitter if you want to give us a shout out. I know there's several WNL grads tuned in, including my friend and broadcasting partner Lincoln Rose, who will be on the call for the Division II Soccer Championship weekend out in Colorado Springs next weekend. Give Lincoln some love. Hope I get to be next to him for basketball season for the championship weekend once again, but lots of good soccer to be played across the NCAA. Not a bad place to see some soccer, huh? Colorado Springs?
Beautiful.
Where Colorado College is out
there.
Ooh, big collision in the middle of the field. No call as he ended up playing the ball, did Durkovic, as he collided. I mean, it was like 2 cars colliding head to head. Both guys get up. WNL, first real opportunity here into the box. And no call there. I think he fell on his own. Trying to do something from the top here. Do the Generals. Trying to go give and go, but good defense from the Camels. Shot from deep, misses the far post. Trying to claim corner, or went off a defender, but not there. Is that shot coming from P.J. Ryan, who's got 1 goal in the season? Check it out again. Just a ripper, and he just tops it. You know, that might have caught a foot on the way in. But was it his teammate?
Through, and I think it was a teammate who it caught. But prior to that, you didn't see it on the replay, but developing prior to that was just the footwork of Michael Kutsinzera, who went as if he was going outside, then came in and, you know, nearly became a dangerous play because the defense didn't pick him up immediately.
Schuma with the ball, gives it back, shot, and it's not going to come that close for Scuffone as it goes off the far side.
Connecticut's remembered what the shot total is like now.
Yeah, right.
Time to get back in the column.
I think they just doubled it, right?
You know, he gave one W and L graduate a shout out. I thought since I do some work in the NFL, it'd be nice to give a NFL shout out because Brett Strosacker, who's the director of public relations for the Philadelphia Eagles, was a former W&L soccer player, from what I understand. And
a lot of pushing and tugging in the middle of the field. A lot of histrionics there as well. Go ahead, sir.
They'll be at MetLife Stadium with me on Sunday when they take on the Jets.
Wow, coming out of nowhere and sliding in to make a huge play is Bucchetti. Got that ball clean. Wow, there's a lot of pushing and shoving. At some point, our official's going to have to do something, I think, here. And here it comes. The extracurricular activities are going to come to an end, or at least an indication that they need to come to an end right now.
Kyle Johnston has seen enough. He's done
a
good job of maintaining some patience, I guess is the best way to say it. But it's
just
it's
a
run
push.
out. It's run out.
Yeah, then it's a little extra cleat there at the end as Duran gets the booking. Downington, Pennsylvania native. That is the 30th yellow card on the season for the Camels. About average for men's programs. We'll get a free kick here on this side of the logo. Not necessarily a dangerous position, though. I have seen some rippers this year from this point. I have a feeling this is going to be more of a service to the far side. We saw Maidenberg read this last time pretty darn well. He is already cheating up, but not as far. This one's going to get played all the way to the back. It's headed into the middle, but there are 2 Camels there defensively. Fans wanted a handball, but it certainly wasn't there. Playing and keeping the intensity there are the Generals, trying to slice and dice his way in and taken down in the box.
Is that going to be outside
or is it outside the box? Yellow card coming. He didn't indicate a penalty kick. He didn't point to the spot. A yellow card booked. I missed who it was for.
Kutsinzera certainly is grimacing in pain after taking the result of that, and Connecticut's already setting up its wall.
Yeah, that's outside the box.
Looks like it's on number 16, Bucchetti.
It is. It is on Bucchetti because he swung through and caught him square in the knee. Don't need the dive to influence that one. That was an easy call. That is outside the box, but is in a dangerous spot. Straight on, 2 yards out at the most. So this wall is going to be back closer to the 6. And you got to put so many guys in the wall here, Ira. It frees up a ton of players for W&L. They're going to put 6 guys in the wall here.
Zimmerman's hanging out on the left side of the wall.
Shot! It goes off the post!
Oh, they went for it. They went for it. Why not? Right? You're not going to have an opportunity like that maybe all game. And
Kutsinzera with a rip.
For the outside players is just potentially waiting for a rebound. But
that is a great shot. Hit the corner.
Look how high that wall elevates here. There's no, unless they go underneath, there is no room.
You know what? That might have gone. No, I think that went clean.
That was clean off the cross.
Wow.
Clean off the cross.
Kutsinzera with another cutback.
But that's when there's a little strategy. Do you try to deke the wall to go high and then go low underneath them?
Get back to that in a minute. Oof. Elbows flying now. This is getting a little bit more physical. Already 2 quick yellow cards. I missed who that last yellow card was on.
It's probably.
Well, we know who it was on. It was on Bacchetti. I apologize. Yes, of course. So Bacchetti gets booked. Well, you say that about trying to deke high. I've seen walls get set up where they put a guy laying down on the ground behind it. So when they elevate to go high, he's on the ground to keep it from sneaking underneath. 32 minutes and change left to play here in what is still a 0-0 game in semifinal number 1 of the Division III Men's Championship weekend. Winner will go on to the championship game tomorrow, which will be played at 5 o'clock. Flag up for offsides. And that is, I believe, 8th time they have been called for offsides. And it's not like they're playing offsides trap, Ira. A lot of these have just been guys caught not aware. They're not playing. I mean, you don't play an offsides trap necessarily that deep.
This guy's being eager.
Well, Schuma's been caught a bunch of times because he just loses track of where he is on the field.
And foul goes the other way.
So championship game tomorrow, 5 o'clock, by the way. They'll be either against Amherst or Chicago. That semifinal coming up. Scheduled for 7:45 Eastern time.
Katzenzier, by the way, got called for that last foul.
Trying to play this over the top.
Fans are certainly starting to get more involved now as they got the Let's Go Camels chant going.
Into the corner goes Doyle. And yeah, they're going to call it out for a goal kick anyway. And substitution for the Camels coming in, Jack Marvel, Marion, Massachusetts, sophomore. As you mentioned, he's the one that kept them alive in this NCAA tournament by converting the penalty kick 4-3 against Salem State, and they take out Shoren. He is not happy coming to the sideline, but Ruben Burke calls him back to have a word with him about something. As we come up on about 30 minutes to play here, far side. Battle for the ball, goes out of bounds, W&L throw in. They quickly do so, but not exactly to a player who's ready for it. But Catanzara steps up into the hole, but gets depossessed. Camels trying to break out from the defensive end. Now we'll go out of bounds for a W&L throw in. No, they're going to give that to the Camels. So it'll be Conn College throw in instead with 30 minutes left to go in regulation, 0-0. Battle for it in the middle of the field. Connecticut College has numbers advantage. Now trying to break out. Oh, they catch Nick out of position as a goalie has to retreat. This gives them a chance here. Does Conn College? It's Jonas. And then it's thwarted. Now it's on Bacchetti, who will go out wide to the far side. Good defense there. Conn College player falls in a heap, and they will whistle it dead. Good sportsmanship. I think it was just an inadvertent cleat. Well, they call a foul, actually. So this is a tough situation now for Conn College to take advantage of. This ball is about, let's call it 25 yards out. The wall put on the 18. I'm going to put 2 guys on it. Nick is not covering that near post that much. It's going to be a left footer. Far side headed and just went over.
Great opportunity.
Missed opportunity from Keletsoglu.
And that is why you didn't see Nick hugging that post too much, because he was more concerned about what was coming in the middle. And you see this beautiful lob, and you know, Keletsoglu was right there. Read it well. It was certainly a piece that they've worked on quite a bit and just didn't get a clean strike on it. But I love the creativity there. And so should the fans at home.
Going down the right side are RWNL, but they can't get there in time.
And regardless of which team you're pulling for, or maybe if you're a neutral observer just trying to enjoy an NCAA Final Four game here, you got to appreciate really the creativeness of both of these sides and the work that, you know, they're trying to orchestrate just to get that one goal. That one goal that's going to make the difference and probably be the determining factor in the outcome. Two teams that are used to scoring a lot This game must feel like a alternate universe right now.
Schuma's got it near side now. Tries to play through the defense, but it's blocked by Chapman. Going back the other direction, Bass with it. Plays it into the middle back to Chapman. Tried to play a dummy there, didn't go anywhere. As breaking it up was Bocchetti. Oh, nice little move there, but again, defense standing tall. Big collision, inadvertent. He's going to go against W&L. It looked like just got off balance there with Zimmerman, and he ended up colliding with, I believe it was Marvel, trying to come out of the back of the defense there.
Zimmerman's been out there for 55 minutes. Still no shots attempted.
Another foul call as the foul count is starting to climb here, as it is 15 total fouls, 8 for Connecticut College now. That didn't get called.
Bit of a sell.
Yeah, agreed.
There, and referee not biting there.
No,
as
he's
Connor
not.
Wharton tried to
He did not
coax
nominate
the
that
foul.
for an Emmy.
No, or an Oscar either.
Nope.
No awards.
Or a Tony.
Or an ESPY.
I don't. Yeah, we're going to get a stoppage here, and someone's getting booked for something. That was one of the weirder plays.
That's going at W&L here, and this one will be on cut to Zera. Yeah,
I want to see what he did. Oh,
he undercut him.
yeah. And he lost his balance, but he still undercut him. So we now have 3 yellow cards in the game, all in this second half, and we're going to get a free kick that Bocchetti's going to take. Nope, he'll step off of it. And they'll have their defender step up instead. It'll be Dukovic with 26-12 left to go here in the second half. 0-0 between Washington Lee and Connecticut College.
It's been 0-0 at this point of all 3 games.
Yep. Schuma with a blast, and it's way high. I want to give him room. Into the game comes Guerin, the Kittery, Maine native. Jake Guerin, the sophomore forward, wearing number 12.
5
And
goals
Schuma
on
will
the
take
season.
a seat. Schuma will take a break here. Remember, you can be on the field twice in the second half of an NCAA game. So Schuma will get a break and then return to action. As we're back into play here, closing in on 25 minutes to play. We've closing in on 3/4 of this game without a goal. We've gotten 10 shots total, 5 for each side with no saves. Corner kicks have been the story in the women's game, not a story in this men's game. 3-2 in favor of Connecticut College, but neither team's done a lot with them.
Well, Guerin, who's now in the game, and there's a chance to mention just to balance that, as this will be a foul call, actually an offsides call, but just the balance of the Connecticut scoring punch this year. 39 goals, but they don't have a clear-cut scoring leader, at least goal-wise, because they have 5 guys with 5 goals apiece.
Yeah, again, yeah.
And then Jonas right behind them with 4, but you look down the line, not only Guerin, but also Schuma and Duran and Crayus, and of course don't forget the player of the year in NESCAC, Girjai, who all have 5 goals apiece. Jaren's added 7 assists.
Girjai just played that one down in the corner.
But they can't key on one player. Clearly, Zimmerman is a focus defensively of Connecticut here today. Can't really do that with Connecticut. I think that's what makes them so dangerous in this tournament, that anybody can beat you on any given day. Can't forget Robles and Scafone, by the way, who got a pair of goals.
A lot of guys trying to go for dummies or fake outs, and neither defense biting. Opportunity here going in. It's Jonas. And he'll kick it over the top.
And
off the defender, right?
Yep,
corner
yeah,
kick.
they got very fortunate there because as Jonas takes this shot here, you watch the defender go low, and it nearly deflected in off of the leg of Beering. That would have been similar to what happened in the TCNJ game, where you had that
Weird spin.
Weird spin on a ball and fooled the goalkeeper who had already committed.
23.5 minutes left to go here.
Of course, we also had that in the Lourdes game where the Lourdes keeper fell down on the goal line and caught it.
Ended up coming right
sitting
back.
on the ground.
Yeah, it came right into her lap. This one played to the top of the 6. And 2 Generals get a heads on it. Trying to break out, though, struggling here.
Mendo, by the way, good job there with the second header to clear it off the back post.
Beering. No, that's not Beering. That's Bass who makes the run. Now Wharton, and he is taken out. And that's just, it's going to draw another card. So now being booked is Doyle with his, which is now the team's 3rd yellow card. And the captain, who's also been booked today, comes up and has a conversation about it. It's the right call. He's out of position. He throws his leg out to interfere with the player. It's accurate. So we'll get a free kick here that Catanzaro will take. First team all region and all ODAC. Has 4 assists and 6 points in this NCAA tournament. And this one's going to get served way to the far side. And Connecticut College is going to easily head it out of danger initially. But Beering throws it back into the box. And then it's the defensive play of Bocchetti that gets it out of danger that time, as we got 22.5 minutes to play in this contest. Trying to lift it over the top, doing a lot of work on that far side is Waymi Agbaegbe. Oh, nice little move here on the near side by Jonas, but it's hard to get around Catanzaro. He's got a lot of quickness.
He's also been a great facilitator this year. He's got a team leading 13 assists this year. That is a program record.
Coming in for Connecticut College, it's Jorge Mendo and Matt Scuffone. And coming in for WNL, it is John Peterson. And I missed one. Looks like Bruce Doyle in for Connecticut. No, Bruce Doyle came out for Connecticut College. Grant McCarty's the other one for the Generals who came in from Short Hills, New Jersey. Environmental Studies and Philosophy major. There's a double major for you. Trying to go over the top here. Opportunity. Shot. Save.
Ooh, what a save.
Wharton with the right foot rip, and it's Maidenberg who got down low quick. Check it out again. It's a great little shot. Maidenberg had it read well.
Patience, lunge, and made it look a lot easier than it really was.
Agreed. I always found that to be one of the tougher places to make a save, was down low, especially near the body. Tried to play it over the top, and that didn't go the way Gear Guy was hoping for.
Yeah, Gear Guy didn't get a clean touch. He was trying. I think maybe you could have had a side volley there based on where the ball was deposited, but either way, another heads-up play, by Washington Lee to at least defensively disrupt that.
Goalie's getting close to coming out of the box before they punt. That one was close there for Nick. He let go of it, I think, before he came out of the box, but it was close.
Let's see the throw of Ryan here if he's able to reach the box.
He is going to go in the box.
They got the corner kick out of it.
Yeah, they wanted a holding foul, but they're going to get the corner kick instead. And so they'll take the kick. I think that's Horvath. That is Bass, I think, out there taking it.
Remember, Catanzaro is out of the game. He came out in favor of McCarty, as did Agbaegbe.
And we'll put this one in play. They've got one short, which has brought 2 defenders out of it. Line drive. Tried to go with a flick on, but it ended up being more of a didn't even flick. More redirected. It went right over the top of the goal. As that's the 7th shot for the Generals. They've only had one on cage. That came a moment ago when that was the first save of the game. Maidenberg made for either team. That's a misplay in the back by the Camels. Now they're in a little bit of trouble here in the corner. It's going to go out of bounds for a throw-in, but certainly not the position they wanted to find themselves in. Wow. Took advantage of the opportunity and went about 15 yards upfield to throw that in. Surprised that didn't get called back. 19 minutes to play here in the second half, 0-0 between Connecticut College and W&L. Chance to go on to the championship game on the line. The winner will take on either Amherst or Chicago. That game coming up after this one. Stepping into the passing lane there was Beering. Up ahead, another opportunity. Shot left foot, and Maidenberg's got that one read well. That's a shot coming off of.
Yeah, the ball deflected back to Lovu, and
there you see it.
Was going for that upper corner, and well read by Maidenberg. Was able to get the hands up quickly, and will now punt this one away. But
a missed punt there, went off the side of his foot.
Connecticut couldn't control. They're lucky to want to get the throw out here. No, the referee's saying no, goes the other way. Kyle Johnson's right on top of that as the official. And they'll leave it for Mendo, the freshman from Spain.
Discussion about where things should be taking place.
Is it freshman or is it first year? What are we supposed to be using?
I use the term
with
freshman.
NESCACs.
Well, they like most of them, not all of them. Most of them go first year. Still a freshman because they don't say second year or third.
Well, we are saying fifth year now.
Fifth year.
So
is
we're
certainly more
we're
common.
bookending the college experience, first year and fifth year.
It's the foot into this one. Again, we're 0-0 here. 17 minutes left to go. And neither team has had tremendous opportunities. We only have 2 saves in it. They've all come in the last couple of minutes. Maidenberg has been on top of both.
Maidenberg certainly hasn't been challenged a lot, but when he has been up to the task and then some, and you see why he's, certainly had to replace a legend.
If you could count the ironwork, exactly. If you count the ironwork, you'd get a couple more saves, as Nick's been bailed out by his post.
Well, we all know how, as goalkeepers, we feel about our posts.
Oh, absolutely. I miss the days when you could kick in the corners. They make goals differently now that you can't do that. Wow, Catanzaro getting through the traffic there. Nice little play on to McCarty. Inside shot and a goal! The Generals have found the back of the net first. I believe that was, I'm not sure, was it Chapman?
Now the fans.
It was Zimmerman, the old Audac threat, who finally finds the back of the net. They lost track of him in the box. Pops free and uses the left foot to drill this one home.
Zimmerman, his 11th goal. How is he that wide open?
Yeah, that's a breakdown.
Unmarked. And his number got bunched up, which is why we couldn't see it for a moment. But a beautiful ball through that set up by McCarty. And then the 11th goal of this NCAA tournament for Zimmerman. And he turns his ear towards the fans, and they let him hear their approval. 11 goals. And McCarty, what an assist. The vision to see that, hey, Zimmerman finally, who had not had a shot the entire game, had finally got some displacement in the box.
You saw Zimmerman call for it from McCarty, over here, and you see behind him it's Bocchetti, but he's good 6 yards behind him. Wide open at the top of the 18. Opportunity coming back, though. Camels fighting back immediately. They're going to have to obviously get one quick here with 15 minutes left to go in this contest.
There's plenty of time. They can still play their game, but W&L now has, I think, taken over the momentum, and more so than just the goal. It's just the opportunities that have been coming in the last 20 minutes have all been on this side of the field.
Absolutely. Maidenberg's 2 saves leading up to that were the first 2 saves. We hadn't seen saves before that. The momentum had gone in the Generals' favor. That's out of bounds. Camels throw in, though. as Mendo will do the honors here. But that is a beauty of a sequence there, because also it's the pass before that from Catanzaro that sets up McCarty to be able to front up on the goal and take the space, draw the defense to allow him to make the pass to Zimmerman.
Zimmerman's now got 11 in 5 NCAA games.
Insane.
I mean, that's just a run like you never see.
Zimmerman's going to make – and it's still interesting in the back. He's looking for more.
It's almost as if he was preserving his energy for the NCAA tournament.
Well, and was it the coach who told us he's received the information he's getting? He's starting to see the field better. He's starting to understand the field better from what coaches are giving him for information as a sophomore. And let's be honest, really a freshman. Yes, WNL had some games last year in the spring, played 8 games, went 7 and I actually lost track of what they did last year. I thought I wrote it down. But Yodak did play a spring schedule. So there was some time to get some games in, but let's be honest, it's not a full season. So a lot of these sophomores at this point now have played a full year of soccer.
Well, Zimmerman scored all 3 goals in the 3-2 win over CNU. He scored 2 of the 3 goals in the 3-1 win over Messiah. Scored 4 times against Baruch in a 6-1 rout in the first round of the tournament, and had a off day against Covenant when he only gave them the first goal before they.
Well, there's a reason he's a first team All ODAC with 6 goals in the regular season. I think that was goal number 17 on the year.
Coaches knew it was a matter of time before he broke through. Good ball tackle there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well played. Camels with an opportunity. Jonas trying to do something.
Kells Oglu, by the way. The Camels need to start pushing and somebody else forward. We know that they don't have one gun that they can go to. They need, a full team involvement offensively. It's a matter right now. Well, what technique are you going to use to try to find and penetrate this back line for the Generals? Is given nothing open in the middle.
Trying to play Crayos a moment ago up front. Of course, he's one of those 5 players with 5 goals. Under 13 minutes to play. Pressure's coming here a little bit now. Now on the foot of Mendo. Mendo will serve it up. It gets headed out of the box, though. He'll retreat and get it again. And then a missed touch in the middle of the field by Pioshun. Big collision. There have been some absolute car crashes in the middle of the field as both teams go to their bench here. Bring back in Catanzaro. I misspoke earlier. It wasn't Catanzaro that set up that pass from McCarty. It was actually in Logvu who set it up. Schuma, by the way, that's the other thing that's interesting here. That goal scored with Schuma on the bench. So now he's back in after a lengthy break.
Girji was also
that's
not
right.
in the game.
He wasn't in. Sorry,
Girji, I should say.
Girji, he was not in the game either. So they bring those guys in, but they weren't out there. That took place with them getting a break.
I'm shocked that there wasn't a foul call there.
Right?
That was a shoulder by Jonas, and officials missed it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that one probably deserved a call. Jaron also now coming into the game. Connecticut College had a lot of their big weapons on the bench during that sequence that allowed WNL to take the lead here, and now they're back in, which is good. But they got 11:20 to work with here to try and tie this up, and they haven't had that many great looks and opportunities. Schuma now has it in the box. Back to the goal, though. Faces up. He's going to force a corner kick, so that's good. That's a good development. Gives them an opportunity here. It's just their fourth corner of the game. 5th as they update the scoreboard. This will be an in-swinger off the left foot of Jaron. That is Horvath Diano. Puts it to the top of the 6, headed out by the Generals. Looking to try and advance to their first ever championship game. Of course, same for Connecticut College.
Scafone, good job there to body him off the ball, but they're not able to maintain possession off these kicks here. And now WNL's got a chance to try to counter.
Schuma retreats to head that one down. Now they'll play it into the corner. Opportunity now. Horvath Diano, who has stayed up uses his left foot. Shuma tries to go for the miracle kick, and it was cut off by Ryan.
Yeah, he was trying to put up the bike there, was trying to time it right, but
or even a sidewinder maybe. But
even if it was a side volley there, the Generals were all over that one.
Ryan came sprinting in, took that one away just like that. Oh, missed opportunity on a breakaway there for McCarty. His dad was a track and field athlete at Texas Tech. With under 10 minutes to play here. Connecticut College now seeing a whole lot of Generals in the defensive third. And they're going to get a free kick here. Things getting a little bit more interesting with under 10 to play. Reminder, under 5 to play, the team leading takes a sub. The clock will stop for the most part. 9:25 to play. Standing over this one is Horvath and Jarin. They're going to put one man close, so he's inside 10 yards. Doesn't seem to concern the Camels. Oh, line drive opportunity into the box, over the top of the crossbar. That could not have been a better opportunity for Jirgi. And see it again. I mean, he's scot-free.
And he's onside there.
Oh, he absolutely
bad
was.
Touch there. I think the ball came a little bit high up on the shin.
Well, he was caught. He was kicking that well in midair. He definitely got surprised by the height of the ball.
And that probably has been Connecticut's best chance of this entire game so far.
Well, except for that one by Schumann that went off the crossbar. But they're now got the momentum clearly. I'm not sure if it's the Generals that have packed it in or it's just, oh, nice cross here. Schumann's got his back to the ball, though. It goes to the far side.
Definitely the best chance they've had anywhere near the 6.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
The other shot was more
Schumann
from
was
distance.
From 18, yeah, no, agreed. 8:13 left to go here. Camels trying to equalize. Throwing it up. It's not going to get it there. Catanzaro cuts that off.
That was a miss hit and a little frustration in the middle of the field.
Tried to rub him off the play, and he still stayed in it. Gets kicked out, though. At this point, I'm a little concerned that Generals are kind of just booting it upfield and then kind of sitting back. They're not able to run onto anything.
But you know what? Maybe they're content with that. They trust their defense enough to send it upfield and burn off 30 seconds at a time.
It's possible. That's risky. But I agree with you. Sometimes that's just the best way to do it, as the Vuvuzelas are very vocal now. 7:25 to play.
Yeah, it's no different, though, in the NFL, or in college football where, you have the ball, up late in the fourth quarter and, you take a couple of short runs and punt the ball with 30 seconds left. And
Schuma.
Trust your defense.
Blast from deep, off the side, and in. Schuma kicks it from 25, or we're not in a 1-1. Oh, my.
And just like that, we have a new ball game. Wow.
Schuma set that one up, and he blasted it Maidenberg all the way up to congratulate him. That is one of the better goals you will see. He painted the side pole.
I mean, if you're Nick, what are you going to do there?
Oh, no, that's a beaut.
And he's upset with his defense.
I'd be upset with my
anything.
defense, absolutely. That is just a beaut. Watch his cutback, one dribble, and just touched off a bomb.
Oh, my gosh, a cannon.
Here it is again. Watch this. Gets away from the defender and just rips it. Oh.
And just, again, if you're Nick,
Smith was the closest guy.
I don't care. No goalkeeper in the world stopping that one.
No.
Be able to
absolutely not.
Catapult that off of the inside iron. And
I told you, it's getting a little nerve-wracking.
Well,
7:05 left. We're at 1-1.
So much for punting the ball and let your defense do the work. Because your defense there didn't do the work, and now
that was a gnarly goal. We've seen two just beautiful opportunities. One, a developed play by WNL to get their first goal, and then that one, Schuma just doing the work to set up his opportunity and just drilled it. That's where the
sixth goal of the year for Zuma, by the way. He is now the team leader.
Yeah, we finally have a break in that tie. But Schuma, I mean, you couldn't have kicked that better from about 25. We got a WNL player who is, I think, got kicked in the midsection or elbowed.
Well, it gives us a chance, by the way,
That
to
gives
mention.
Behringer, who we haven't talked about today.
Well, Zuma's out of Megwegwe, Zimbabwe, and then for Washington Lee, we talked about earlier, Michael Katzenzera, the junior out of Bulawayo, Zimbabwe, and both players, and I don't have the name.
Bergen calls for his own sub, by the way. He is clearly in a lot of discomfort. I feel for the man.
I don't have the name of the club handy, but one of the Connecticut fans had come up to talk to us at halftime just about how both players were discovered basically by the same academy, which I think was based out of Boston, I think she said.
I think you're right, yes.
That was able to, on trips to Zimbabwe, discover players, and both these young men have had an opportunity now to come to the U.S.
And a lot of the schools in New England, those boarding prep type schools, giving opportunities to individuals like that, it's pretty common.
Well, he's, Zuma's out of the Taft School.
Yep.
And, for WNL, you have also out of Connecticut, Katzenzera's out of the Putnam Science Academy. So both players had that opportunity to play, soccer at a high school level in the States and have gone on now to be prime players on two teams that are battling out now 5.5 minutes away from an overtime.
Peterson out of this game, Bass into the game. 5.5 left, 1-1. I mean, clearly anything could happen at this point, as now the momentum has swung a little bit back towards the Generals. It's top of the 18 here, dangerous position, especially if you don't want a foul called there. Is really doing a lot of work is McCarty yet again. He's trying to force his way through the defense, and finally Conn College has enough. They're going to boot it up and have Schuma run on. Oh, that could be a handball. They don't call it. It's played back, and Nick will gobble it up. You could argue maybe inadvertent because the ball came up and played the arm, not the arm playing the ball.
Yeah, and I agree with you there. That was inadvertent and a good non-call in this situation by Kyle Johnson, the center official.
Well,
here.
And his assistant official.
Oh, yeah, and they have, I believe they have headsets where they're able to communicate with each
Yep.
other just to really improve the efficiency of the officiating game here. But, you talked about there's still plenty of time remaining. That goal came from Zimmerman midway through the 74th minute. That one by Schuma came with 5 seconds to go in the 83rd
Check
minute.
this out again. Yeah, that ball comes up and plays the arm. I think that's a good no call, and it actually doesn't even play to his favor. It played back to Schuma. So I think a good no call there is that was not the arm playing the ball, but the ball playing the arm. Nice job. Oh, no, they're going to call that a foul against Katzenzera. Are they going to yellow card him for that?
I think he's already had a yellow in this game.
No, I don't. I've lost track of that.
I have Katzenzera with
Yep,
2 shots and 1 yellow.
Red. He's reaching for the red. I want to see it. I know our crew's going to have a replay, but I want to see what he saw.
And that's not only key here because
he's out for tomorrow.
He's out for tomorrow.
See this again. What's the call?
That's a bad call. Mendo was the one forcing the contact. Look at this. Watch it again.
I don't see the call.
And I know he's running out of bounds, and that might be what they're calling. He's running out of bounds
That's
to
a
the play.
tough one, and you could see the confusion on Katzenzera's face on that, and I understand it. I mean, listen, I don't have the angle from the official. I don't know what the official's also been saying to them. As you see, an interesting moment there between Wharton for the Generals and Mendo. But, yeah, I mean, if WNL moves on,
they're without one of their top players.
Out for the game.
And we were just talking about both these young men, Katzenzera and Schuma, being on the stage, and just like that, regardless of what happens.
And we're getting a delay here. Now a yellow card has been assessed to the coaching staff of WNL, who have obviously been voicing their displeasure.
And I don't blame them. I mean,
this game.
Unless the call there was maybe for unsportsmanlike, for running out of bounds before coming back in and getting involved in the play, I can't imagine.
But that's not even no.
I've seen cards pulled for players running out of bounds and coming back in.
I mean,
I don't,
maybe?
especially with the player sitting on a yellow, that's questionable. Maybe for a first yellow, maybe. I don't know about that.
Well, it's in the books now. 3.5 left,
They'll be
and it's
playing
a man down for W&L, especially important should we go to overtime.
We said that in unison.
Yeah, that was a little weary for everybody.
I'm going to do some karaoke
If you are
later.
a Generals fan, ODAC fan, whatever, as far as my phone's not blowing up, things have gotten tense. Because not only have you lost the lead you had, you've now lost a man on the field. 3 minutes left to go in regulation. It's 1-1. He's Ira Thorham, Dave McHugh. NCAA.com, Division III men's semifinal action. This is semifinal number 1. Oh, by the way, we've got one more after this. A day of 4 games that have been tremendous for all kinds of reasons. .240 left in this one. I wonder if Zimmerman's got any magic still in his cleats. He fought for that one, couldn't get there in time. Notice they have brought, by the way, the Camels have brought Bocchetti, who's a midfielder, all the way back into almost a central defensive role. He is marking Zimmerman. He is no longer up. He was up for most of the first half. That is kicked too far and will be a goal kick. He's now basically playing back in a central defensive role anywhere that Zimmerman's going. He is marking Zimmerman, which is why it was so amazing that Zimmerman got open for that goal in the first place.
Now, Zimmerman obviously has the ability to kind of negate the fact that it's 11-10 right now with his ability.
Absolutely.
But I mean, quite frankly, you know, for W&L, big uphill climb offensively now to try to score within the next 22 minutes.
I mean, where do you take the guy out? Do you take him out of the midfield? Do you take him out of the defense? Do you take him out of the offense? I mean, it's a no-win no matter where you pull that player.
What they do have to their benefit is the potential of, if this goes to OT and there is no outcome in OT, to advance through the PKs. And then it's even there because everybody's got 5 shots.
Extra 20 minutes of hold on tight.
Well, they
Should
held
we
on
get that far? Zimmerman tries to get a call there, and he gets it.
They held on tight for 75 minutes before the Generals finally broke through. So at this point,
I'm mistaken. That was not Zimmerman.
You've got to play some mistake-free soccer, and this was a mistake for Connecticut right here.
No, that was Zimmerman who gets the call over there. So it'll be a free kick here with 1 minute left. They have not stopped the clock. This is a kick from just outside the box. This is the best Generals could hope for here. An opportunity maybe to end it here. Bass is sitting over the ball.
Wharton's also there.
Yeah, Wharton. I don't know who's going to take it. It's going to be, nope, Wharton's going to use his left.
Zimmerman around the PK mark.
Yeah,
it was blocked back.
Right into the middle of the box with 37 seconds left. Didn't get the lift he was looking for there. Tried to flick on, doesn't happen. Conn College trying to break out with Chuma. It doesn't happen. No, it does happen. Chuma's going to get a chance, and coming off and out of the box comes Nick. And, yeah, you just got to dump that and get back.
Smart play. They'll run out most of the rest of the clock.
Yep. 15 on the game clock. Mendo's going to throw it in. They're going to remind him that he should have been about 10 yards back. He's gotten away with a couple of those. Well, he's not going to get a chance here. That ball, they're going to let him play it with the ball in the field with 3 seconds left. Schuma's got an ability to shoot from there, but no one's going to cross the line in time.
Bottom where it's meeting the turf.
It was upper half. Yep. And, of course, he had one where he ripped it and hit the crossbar on a sidewinder. He's got a great way of wow, and Zimmerman gets called for the pull down there, and he thought it was a foul on Jonas.
I'm sure he's got a big fan club at the Taft School.
Yes.
They've been very active.
They may be watching for all
I'm sure
I know.
they are.
Yeah.
They've been congratulating him on social media over the course of the years.
For the reason they were watching, I decided not to mention the alma mater. I didn't want to set up my alma mater for maybe we can see him in ice hockey. I know that'll go our way. Slide tackle there.
What's the McHugh alma mater?
Nope. Told you. Not giving Taff any ammunition here.
No, I need to do a little search online, see if I can find
It's not that hard to find, to be honest.
Let's see what I can find as you describe this game.
It's also a name of a college, which confused the heck out of my coaching staffs in college.
Bowdoin?
They were in our conference, too. Just different colors, different hue of red. 3:45 remaining. Nothing against Taft. Our school is located in a prettier part of Connecticut. I'm amazed by how close the goalies get to being out of the box when they release that ball, and I'm surprised we haven't seen more get called for it and get a free kick at the top of the box for their opponents.
I will let the audience know that it is the Salisbury School.
You said it weird, but that's okay. Well, you said it Eastern Shore style.
You want me to call it the Salisbury School? I'm so trained to say Salisbury after the baseball championship in the spring.
Exactly. That's my point. 3:08 remaining. In this first overtime, should 2 be necessary, and it's oddly calmed down. These teams are kind of just prodding, trying to. They're almost scared to give it up. You know,
in the second half, it was more
half.
urgency, and now it's that calmness, waiting for that moment.
Well, you don't want to make that mistake, as it were.
But they're playing right now very deliberately. And it's
true.
It's different because of what's at stake.
Again, W&L down a man. We should repeat that. Zimmerman gets the ball, and they're going to call a foul on Zimmerman. It's interesting. Some contacts getting called, some contacts not. Depending on your fandom, is going to debate whether you think it's right or wrong.
Well, let's watch it again. You see,
Yeah,
that's a good call.
hip checked him. Yeah,
that's a good call.
From that angle, I can see it better.
Great job by our team down below I'd say in the truck, but they don't have a truck this year.
No, they don't.
In the corner of the gym.
They got a big gym.
They got a nice corner.
Probably couldn't hear us in game 1 due to practice. 2:05 remaining to go. Opportunity here for the Camels. That one is airmailed over the top. That is a shot coming from Girjai. Sorry about that. Girjai family.
I would wager that his name has been mispronounced many times over the years.
Actually, that might have been the fan we saw earlier trying to get his name correctly said.
I mean, you said his name better than his hometown.
Oh, no, I butchered the hometown. I already know that.
Mahopac, New York.
Yeah, I know. I overthought it as I went to say it. I know how to say Mahopac, but it's played all the way back here to Mainberg. And then he will pass it off to Bacchetti, who now comes to the near side with 1:20 left. We're looking at going to a second overtime, which means the teams will flip sides. I just don't remember how much time we get between periods. I think it's just 2 minutes, so we'll find out from our producer director whether we'll take a break or not. But 1 minute left
would like
here.
to not take a break.
Yeah, no opportunity here coming, and it's a goal! Conn College will move on to the championship game. It's over.
Steve Jonas, man down, finally does in the Generals.
Deliberateness, steadiness, and the W&L season and the #1 ranking is over as Jonas converts it. It came from the far side. I'm going to have to double check who that was who came over. As you can see, W&L players all over the field, just exasperated having lost that opportunity.
The heartbreak
in the
for
final minute of the
W&L,
first OT.
Dave. I mean, they left it all out here on the field today. And
check it out again. Goes down the far side. I think that was Gear Guy, isn't it? From the far side?
No,
it's not. That is Jarian.
Yeah, it was Jaron,
sorry. And Jonas
assist.
with the dive. Out runs Wharton to the spot. Nick